First fight of the night, strawweight bout here. Josefine Knutsson coming in at minus 460 against Marnic Mann, making her UFC debut. Both ladies making their UFC debut, coming in at plus 335. Over under 2.5 rounds, minus 200 for the over, plus 165 for the under. We just saw Josefine Knutsson a couple weeks ago. We just broke her down on the Contender Series. She fought Isis for Beak, got a win by decision, nearly finished her a couple times. But Dana White didn't like that, and she got the decision win. Didn't get a contract, but eventually she gets booked to fight Yasmin Lucindo here. Yasmin Lucindo pulls out, in steps Marnic Mann, who also did not get a contract on the Contender Series last year because she got knocked out in the second round by Bruna Brazil. Since then, gets a decision win in the LFA against Amber Brown, and she's coming in here as an underdog against Josefine Knutsson. You think she could pull it off?
I don't know. I wasn't high on her going into that Contender Series fight, and you look at some of her fights, man. She's 5 foot tall, but she looks so much smaller than a lot of her opponents. You know, not that big of a reach. For Knutsson, you know, in the Contender Series fight, I was almost shocked they didn't give her a contract because first it's women's MMA, and she performed pretty well. Like didn't get the finish, but performed well. And you know they've been giving everybody contracts, and to see her name not called was a little shocking. But it worked out for her. They're bringing her back in against Verbeek, who's another good kickboxer. She held her own. She had her hurt in the first round and did pretty good work the whole entire fight. Like she was landing with ease against Verbeek, showed good takedown defense, showed up against the cage. Like she's a pretty strong girl. And overall, I think against Marnic Mann, she's going to be the more well-rounded fighter by a pretty decent amount here. Marnic Mann, you watch her. She wants to get fights on the ground. She does have some pretty good top pressure. She'll land with some ground and pound. And overall, man, if she needs to get the fight to the mat to win, and I think that's the same thing here. Like she's got to get Knutsson to the ground if she wants a chance, because being 5 foot tall, not the greatest reach, not the greatest striking, girls like Knutsson are just going to have a field day with her. And I mean, we saw it against Bruna Brazil in that fight. You know, that shot that put her down was nasty. Bruna Brazil, decent striking, kind of reminds me of Knutsson a little bit with the kickboxing. So I think Knutsson does get it done. I don't see the best path to victory for Marnic Mann here, especially if she's not getting any takedowns.
Yeah, I got to figure Josefine Knutsson comes in here with a chip on her shoulder. Like she had a chip on her shoulder. She fought on the road to the UFC, which is that tournament for to get a contract to the UFC. She fought on that. She got a win, and it was a decision win. She goes on to the Contender Series. She wants a finish. She almost has it a couple times. Doesn't get it. She doesn't get the contract. And then I feel like she comes into this one. She's like, I want to get a finish. It's my UFC debut. I haven't been getting finishes. She's only had one finish in her entire career. Marnic Mann, her only loss is by knockout. So I think Marnic Mann is outgunned on the feet. She's going to look to get takedowns, but even on the ground, she doesn't really inflict a ton of damage. And she can get taken down as well. Watch that fight with Amber Brown. She had some success getting the takedowns. Knutsson can go for the takedowns as well. I think she's just got her outgunned in every aspect of mixed martial arts. So I think Knutsson gets the win, stays undefeated. But, I mean, it's heavy chalk and a lot of weird stuff can happen here. So wouldn't go too crazy on it, but I do think she gets the win.
How do you go from Lucindo to Marnic Mann?
I know, right?
In a couple of weeks. That's quite the difference there.
Yeah, I mean, she was probably stepping into a tough fight against Yasmin Lucindo, and now she's a big favorite against Marnic Mann. So, yeah, I think she pulls it off probably pretty easily. I would maybe even look at like a KO prop for her. Probably get some juicy stuff there, considering she's only got one win by finish. And it is a possibility because she had Isis Verbeek on skates a couple times with that head kick too. Marnic Mann got knocked out by a head kick, so it'll be there. It'll be there for sure. But